Hi class, so this week we are going to review colons, how to use those, when the appropriate time is. So let's go ahead and read through this. So the colon is much like a traffic cop. It directs your attention to something ahead. Notice, for example, the colon in the sentence above as well as the colon here. Both signal you to read on for more information. The colon separates more sharply than a comma and also seems more formal than a dash. Its main job is to point the reader forward to satisfy an expectation that has been raised. So one thing that you can think about is this. So when you have a colon, let me just type this up real quick. All right, here's your colon. On the left side of the colon is going to be a general statement, right? A sentence. On the right side is going to be a specific or an explanatory, right? So right before the colon, something will be introduced, and once you see that colon, you know that the writer is going to kind of help us understand it more, okay? So take a look at this here. So here are three sentences that we will combine into one. Today's citizens ask educators a question. The question is hard-nosed. Why not make schools compete for customers? So once we combine all these, we could end up with something like this. Today's citizens ask educators a hard-nosed question, colon. Why not make schools compete for customers? So as you can see on the right side of that colon is the explanatory statement, right? It lets us know exactly what the question is. In the first part of the combined sentence above, the focus is on the word question. The second part explains what the specific question is. Again here, take a look. The citizen's assumption is sometimes explicit. The citizen's assumption is sometimes not explicit. Competition is good. It increases productivity. All right, so what do we get when we put all those together? The citizen's assumption is sometimes explicit, comma, sometimes not. Okay? Colon, so now we are going to get a specific statement to explain what that assumption is. Competition is good because it increases productivity. And as I said before, right, another way to think about the pattern is general statement, explanatory statements. So that first statement is general, the second is going to explain the first. Okay, one thing you want to remember is on the right-hand side of the colon, you don't have to have a complete sentence. You could have a word, a phrase, or a series of phrases. Take a look at this example. So with these three sentences here, we will combine them together. These critics always come back to one concept when discussing the problems of education, vouchers. So notice how there's a sense of anticipation, there's a build-up, right? And in this case, the writer really wanted to place the emphasis on the word vouchers and just leave it alone. So you can do that with a colon. So the above example illustrates how the colon can nail your reader's attention to a single word, but obviously, if too many of your sentences read like the sentence above, the effect will be lost. Okay, another way that colons are used is when you want to introduce a list. Like in the example here, according to their advocates, vouchers have three main benefits: to empower students, to involve parents, and to reform the curriculum. So notice how the three items in this series all kind of sound and look the same, right? This is called parallel construction. All begin with to, right? To empower, to involve, to reform. Okay? Here's another example with the same sentence. So according to their advocates, vouchers have three main benefits. First, to empower students. Second, to involve parents. And third, to reform the curriculum. Right? So in this case, the writer wanted to add more transitions. Okay? When you use a colon to introduce a list, though, this is important because I see this a lot. Make sure the list is make sure you do it with a complete sentence. Right? So on the left, just like this here is a complete sentence. So what you want to avoid is something like this. Let me show you real quick. According to their advocates, vouchers have three main benefits, and then if you went like this, such as, and then a colon, right? That's not going to sound right, so you got to make sure it's a complete sentence. So again, you will be given 4 groups, and you're going to practice combining, revising the 2 or 3 sentences, and you're going to do an imitation. So let's do one together. For shoplifting, oops, had an unhappy result. Now, we can go a ride in a police car. Right? That's one way to do it. You can do something like she had to ride in a police car, but I like this. All you need is a phrase. You know. So then, with your imitation, let's see. What do you do? Basketball player had an unhappy MRI, a torn ACL, something like that, right? See how we kind of here, we used a phrase that begins with A, so we did the same thing here, all right? Good luck, thanks for listening.